Welcome to the Architect My Life podcast. I'm Maya Schlachter, serial entrepreneur and CEO of the MGS Global Group, where we serve architecture and design firms with project delivery, such as drafting, 3D visualization, and graphics production support. I am also the founder of Architect My Life. My goal is to help creative entrepreneurs such as architects and other design-related professionals scale their business to 6 or 7 figures. I also show them how it's possible to do this while living a rich life outside their work, reclaiming time and energy for themselves and their families. Creatives were taught how to master their craft, but not taught how to run and grow a business. Each podcast episode features a different entrepreneur from the creative industry who shares their journey towards success. If you have a growth story that others in our community could benefit from hearing, stick around to the end of the show to see how you could be a guest in one of our future episodes. Now, let's dive into this episode. Welcome to Architect My Life podcast, where we interview creative entrepreneurs on their journey. I'm your host, Bett Quimby, and joining us today we have award-winning architect Victoria Benatar. Victoria is the owner of Victoria Benatar Architect, PLLC, in New York, and also the co-owner of EXD Architecture. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you so much, Betty. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to get to know you a little better. I've been doing some research, and you have a very extensive, I was going to say repertoire because I'm a musician, but resume. And I understand you're a professor of architect and design at Columbia University.
Yeah, I was. Now I am teaching at Parsons School of Design. I started my academic career at Columbia University. Okay. Then we moved to Parsons, and I'm still there teaching.
Okay, excellent.
In architecture and interior design departments.
Both of them. Okay, excellent. Great. And if you could just give me a little bit of your background. I introduced you. Please do tell me what you're doing at the firm currently.
Yeah, well, I have been an architect for 35 years, and I started working in Venezuela. After 10 years of practicing, I was doing a lot of interior design. I started with interior design because I was a little afraid of starting building buildings. In Venezuela, when you graduate, you can start building buildings. So I was a little hesitant about it. So I wanted to learn the trade first. And I did. So I built a couple of buildings, and then I had this interest in coming to New York to make a master in urban design, which I did, to understand better the cities. I wanted to understand the 3 levels of design, which is architecture, interiors, and urban design, to have a broader understanding of how things interact. So I came here to study at Columbia, and I was very proficient in all digital work. This was in 94. So I was hired at Columbia as a digital instructor because at the time they created the paperless studios with computers, and there was not really too much people that knew about it. So they hired me. I was lucky. They hired me, and then one of my teachers referred me to Parsons. So I started teaching at Parsons. So, I figured, okay, you know what? If I'm going to try to get my green card, if I get it, I stay. If I don't get it, I leave. So I got my green card as an alien of extraordinary abilities for all this computer stuff that I knew. So I stay. And then I said, okay, I'm going to apply for my license. If I get it, I stay. If I don't get it, I leave. So I got my license. And then I founded Victoria Benatar Architect. And this was in 99. So I was working interior design projects mostly in the city. And in 2016, I started teaching with Michelle Cianfaglione, who's my partner now. And we realized that we have the same ideas about interior design and that we would make a great partnership together because we feel like, interior for residential, commercial, and even retail should not really be static. So we work on this idea of designing spaces for 24 hours. And we are inspired by the city of New York, in which, everything happens together at the same time. And we believe that, your apartment and your place to live and work should perform the same way the city is performing. So like 3-4 years ago, we did a research on share economies, which is how, and how share economies will change design, the way we live, like all Airbnb, Uber, Netflix, for music as well, Spotify. Yeah, so we understood by doing that research that the definition of luxury has changed. So people would like to use their resources rather than accumulating like in the past, in experiencing. So going experience. So definitely you can have a small space that should perform for you. So this is what we are doing in our company now. So
it sounds like you are like on the top edge of technology and the way that society is going with your design and architect.
Well, as a matter of fact, we were doing this before the pandemic, and with the pandemic, it's proven that your house have to perform. You have to be a living space. Your house has to be your gym, your office, your classroom for your children, your sleeping areas.
Oh, you told me a little bit about your background in your business, but when did you realize that you wanted to become a business owner? Like, did you know right out of your master's degree that always wanted to be your own firm owner?
Well, you know what? I had a child when I was very young. I was 25 years of age, and I started working in Venezuela, and I started working in a company, and I found it was a little complicated with a child. So I figured this is not, because you have to go to school, all of a sudden you have to pick her up, and then you have to ask permission, and then you are like, oh, she's gonna ask permission again. So you become a little disadvantaged.
Yes.
With other professionals, especially with people that doesn't share the situation. So I figured I couldn't continue like that. And I started doing little projects to my friends. My friends were all having children. So they had to make the children's room. And, and adapting a little area for, playroom, or for the nanny, or the maid's room, or, so having an addition to a house. So that's how I started my business. To tell you the truth, I was clueless, really, because in architecture school, they don't teach you anything of that. So, but I always been a curious individual. So I took, after I was having my office for like 5-6 years, I took a class on management for architects and engineers in a very high-end school in Venezuela, like Stern like Stern in New York. So it was fun because they were all like big engineers of big companies, and mine is Victoria Benatar from Victoria Benatar Architect. And they're kind of making fun of me, but it was great. I learned a lot, and I proved that you can have a little shop and still grow. And they gave us some exercises, some like simulation exercises of a company that was going in bankrupt, and how would you handle the company. And the way I handled the company, my company was in the stock market, and all of them were broke. So I just use common sense,
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating that the whole reason it sounds like behind you becoming a business owner was because you are a woman and a mother, and that kind of like it pushed you into that direction, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And
so, I think that I mean, that the fact that I have a kid so young changed everything. Maybe if I didn't have the kid, I would have worked in a big firm and learned from the big firm how to manage a company. I didn't really know anything. So I have been taking courses on finance and courses on administration. And
yeah,
I recently, from SBA in New York, SBA promoted a course. It's like a very high-end course of business for small, small owners, small firms, and they choose me. And, it was in the middle of the pandemic, as a matter of fact, on how to grow your business in the next 5 years. So I took that class too. Yeah, so I'm always like, because it's true. I mean, you know what is my dream? To have in an architecture school business classes and teach the students on how to become entrepreneurs.
Yes, that's like Aya, who is the main person of this podcast. She is also she moved from a different country here to the United States, and she's a very powerful business owner, and it's her dream too. I mean, that's what she wants to get out there with this podcast, is teaching people how to build and grow their business. So that's amazing. You guys have a lot in common.
Yeah, and also like, it's how, I mean, I saw her videos, and it's that, I realized that's what she does. It's great. Yeah. Because I try to do this a little bit. I teach in some semester, I teach professional practice. Mm-hmm. So I try to, give a little bit of this information to my students. Yes. But it's, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. Oh, well, that's great. So you've told me about your business background. Did you have a mentor or somebody who strongly influenced you in your career?
Sorry?
Did you have a mentor that strongly influenced you in your career?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, yes, I have two mentors. I have my academic mentor, which is Brian McGrath, he was a professor of mine at Columbia University, and he recommended me for the job I have at Parsons. Okay. So he's my mentor. And then I have Alison Spear. I started working with her in New York, and that's how I learned. She had an office just like mine in Venezuela, but in feet and inches and English. Okay. So I learned from her. So I consider them both my mentors. Yeah.
Excellent. And what has been your biggest challenge or obstacle, either starting or growing your business? What have been your challenges?
That's a really good question. The challenge is growing. This is a big challenge for architecture firms. And I can talk about myself, and I talk also about in my two companies. Mm-hmm. Now that we are two, it's when you are two, you don't multiply by two. It's potential, Yeah. So you grow potentially. So what we do now is we work in a team configuration. So we work basically the two of us, and we have been building a team, different teams, as a matter of fact, that we call and contact when we need to make bigger projects. So we can do very small projects, and we can do very big projects. And depending on that, we build a team, because payroll, it's a big burden. And architecture firms fluctuate, the work goes like this, like that. Yeah. And commit to a payroll, it's challenging. So the way we do now, it's like that, and it's working much better. It's allowing us to grow without really growing.
Yeah. So you have, like, how many are in your team?
No, it's my partner and I. We are the two of us.
Oh, you don't. So you don't do the team anymore because.
No, we do the team, but the team is other people. We have, like, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 people that we work with. On a case-to-case, in a case-by-case basis.
So they're independent contractors?
Yes, correct.
I see. Okay, excellent. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
I know we had mentioned the pandemic a little bit. How has COVID directly affected your business? In what way?
Well, as me and my partner, we are very proactive and, and driven. We're not going to let anything affect our business. So
good. That's good.
Yeah. So we have been working very hard on the things that you don't work when you have a lot of work. So because of the limitations, you couldn't go out, and all the jobs were stopped. We devoted a lot of time. When I finished this course, I was telling you about the business class on how to grow your business. We improved our webpage. We created some systems and protocols for our team members. So we have been proactively working on like improving our company and making it more robust.
Great. That's excellent use of time. That's great to hear. Well, then what were the unexpected positive outcomes of COVID? Is that one of your positive outcomes? Is that you use that time wisely to grow your business? Were there any other positive?
Well, you know what is the positive outcome? That we have been 5 years designing systems to improve people's lifestyle without the conscience that this COVID was going to come. It's just because we have this philosophy that, your house should perform for you,
Yeah.
So this was a pleasant surprise that what we've been working for 5 years with COVID proving right, not only for your house, for your office, for your, now there is a lot of retail that's changing and office spaces that change. So spaces have to be able to transform and adapt to the needs of the everyday and not having to invest a lot of money in doing these changes.
Right.
So we are designing systems that change and can perform.
They can adapt to the lifestyle of your.
Yeah, and they perform. For example, we just finished a couple of prototypes that contain area for sleeping, area for working, area for gym, area for storage, for a bar, so.
Everything, multi-purpose.
Yeah, correct.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are like, you're ahead of the game. I love it. You're very wise.
Oh, well, you know what? I guess I've learned. I mean, you know what? I have made a lot of mistakes in my life and I failed a lot. And failure to me is the greatest gift because that's how I learn. I don't take it. I try to take it in the positive way and learn from that. So
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
yeah.
So speaking of that, because you are someone that I'm sure a lot of people in your field look up to, being a professor and all that you have accomplished, what do you think are the most important personality traits that you have or that someone needs to have to run a successful business?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's given that if you are an architect, you have some talent because you cannot go to architecture school and graduate and not have talent. So that's a given. Talent is a given.
Yeah.
You need to be ambitious, I think. Have a level of ambition that you need to have drive, consistency. You have to be, even if things don't look good, and even if you need to keep moving forward,
Progress.
Yeah. Move forward because sometimes, I was talking today to an architect in Madrid, and he was telling me that all of a sudden, like last year, if I would talk to him last year, the situation would have been completely different. He got an article in a newspaper, and all of a sudden his business is like booming. So you never know. So be prepared because if you do the right thing, and that's what my partner and I were doing, we are getting prepared. So if a lot of work comes, we're prepared. So
Perfect.
we're hoping that this is the case after COVID. We were just featured in the New York Times, by the way,
Yes.
last week.
And what was the article? What was the feature?
The article was 8 things that your apartment should do.
Things that your department in architecture should do.
Yeah. Hold on, let me look for it because so it was it's like 8 items for your home that do more than one thing.
Ah, okay.
Which is exactly what we're doing. So
8 items for your home that. Okay, I'm looking for the article.
hold on.
New York Times, what is it titled?
1 second, let me give you again for that. 8 items for your home that do more than one thing.
that do more than one thing. So this is what you were just talking about, the versatility and the, multi-purpose.
Correct.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah, so we are very happy.
Yes, I see it.
Because we are trying to create our own project. We are not waiting for the client. We're creating our own project, so we have it ready for the clients.
Yeah, you're not going to them saying, well, what are you looking for? You're thinking of it before they come to you.
And then we have that system. Of course, when architect comes with us with other needs for design, we fulfill, because we are architects and interior designer, which makes it also, this is a level of expertise that it's great, because we handle the two scales and we are able to really address the needs of people. Something very important for us, we let people tell us what they need, what their problems are,
Yeah,
and then we figured out a strategy to solve it. Correct.
That's amazing. And then, so you already told me that you're interior design and architecture, but do you have a niche? Like, what is your one, I mean, I guess it's kind of encompassed with like the multi-purpose and the versatility. Is there another niche that you have, or did you?
Well, this is really like what we are focusing on now, is to design spaces for 24 hours that can perform. This is our they are like many problems. For example, there's shortage in housing. So with the systems that we develop, we can repurpose housing. There is this situation with retail that it's unused. So with the system that we are proposing, we can change retail, and retail can change depending on what they are hosting and carrying. We have also office. We just designed an office project in which the office can change from in the individual desks to conference room to classroom. Very easily, the office can transform in many different things.
And how does it do that? Is it like, I noticed in the picture in the article, it was like a little eating space. Does it actually move? Like,
yeah, things move. Yeah, move and transform, and yeah.
That is cool. So
yeah,
especially for small spaces in New York that don't have much square footage, you have to be able to.
Well, I have a very good my thing that I like to say, like a bed which is 6 by 5 occupied 30 square feet. Mm-hmm. Let's say, well, not now, before the pandemic, $2,000 square feet, high end, just to make a round number. Mm-hmm. This is $60,000, the amount of money that a bed occupies sitting there, right?
Yeah.
If you have $60,000, what would you do with it? You buy a car, take a vacation, pay the tuition, something, right? You don't leave it there sitting there, right? No. So a bed, this is how much a bed costs to just be sitting there. That's my thing. That's our thing in our company. We always use that because it's true. We don't think like that because we're used to have the bed there. But the bed there occupy a space that it's money, and
That's awesome. I love that thought. You've got the wheels turning. I'm like,
right.
What is like vertical space? Like what can I make better use of?
Exactly.
That bed is, we only use it for how many hours in the night or whatever, and just.
Exactly. So if you have a small space, you need the space for other stuff. Yeah. Then, some people, have the idea, okay, I need to have another room, and not necessarily. Yeah. We just make into my partner's apartment, we convert she had a 1-bedroom apartment, mm-hmm. and she had a daughter. And, when the baby was little, babies little, they're little. But when they start growing, they start occupying the space. Mm-hmm. So, her first thinking was, okay, let's move. And then she realized that moving in New York to adding one more bedroom is very expensive. Yeah. And, you have to add to your mortgage. And like, So she said, you know what, I'm going to be your first client. And we created in her apartment a studio in the bedroom, in the living room.
Okay.
And we changed it, we put the daughter in the bedroom. So now we are designing their daughter bedroom because she's growing. So all the elements in the bedroom are moving up and down based on her age and based on her needs. So, we apply this also for children's room.
That's cool. Like desk, like as they get older, they don't have the toys, they need a place to study.
Exactly. And their closet is like this, and their closet then,
Yeah, because their clothes are getting bigger, they're getting bigger, they get more clothes and accessories.
or the books and the homework and their, crafts.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, we are really enjoying this time. And as I said, with the pandemic, we really realized that we're right on target. So we are, our goal is to help people improve the quality of their lives by the quality of the design of their spaces. So we would like to help as much people as possible with that goal.
That's amazing. Well, Victoria, I have a few more questions because we're running out of time for the.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I keep asking more. I want to know more, but what I do want to know is, what is your dream project? You say that your dream was like to help people and to help young entrepreneurs maybe grow their business. But like, if you had like a dream project that you could create, what would your dream project?
Well, my dream project at the moment would be to convert some of the office buildings in New York into a mixed use community with like urban gardens on the roof. I mean, I would like to see the city with all urban gardens on the roof, eating gardens. And you can have vegetables and herbs and grow the vegetation in the roofs and create these buildings of mixed use when you can have little communities, small communities. You can have your manicure, the bank, the daycare, you live there, that's my dream. Yeah. Well, that's both my partner and I, because we both are in line with the.
It's so nice that you found a partner. Business.
Oh yeah, Michelle, my partner, we really have, we are aligned with our goals and objectives.
That's great.
And we are from the different age groups. So we address things, and we have complementary visions,
Yes. And different perspectives, like you said, different age backgrounds, maybe different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and growing up in different ages probably helps.
No, in different countries also. So
yeah.
And she's a real New Yorker. So, it's like this. New York is our inspiration, really. New York is our inspiration. So we also are a minority business. In New York, we are certified as minority business. So another dream project would be to be able to participate in all these capital improvement projects that the city are doing.
That's amazing.
That it's
Wow.
So we want to help a lot of people, and like, design is for that. That's the purpose of design,
Improve the quality of life and make.
Yeah, and having beautiful environments that help people live a better life. Because what I always said, if you go out of your house and you don't find your keys, right? Oh, where are the keys? You go crazy looking for the keys. You're late. You're already in bad mood. The elevator is not coming. Somebody's in the elevator. You give a bad face. Then you go down. You start the day cranky, and then all this negative energy goes. If you have a house design where everything have a place and there's a place for everything, this doesn't happen. So you can be happy. You make your environment happy. You make your people around you happy. And, we all contribute to have a better world.
Yes, spread the positivity. I love it. Well, Victoria, our meeting's going to end shortly because of the time constraints, but I do want to, two more things I want to, before you tell me where people can find you, where do you see your firm 3 years from now? Looking into the future.
Well, we see our firm there, designing more buildings, and because the scale, if you do one apartment, is have a cost, but if you do 10, the cost for people is much less. The economy of scale is much better if you do more. So
that's great. I love your vision, and you are such a pleasure. I would love to tell people where to find you. So can you please give us your, like your website info or your social media outlet?
Definitely. Our company name is EXD Architecture. EXD stands for Experience Your Space by Design. Okay. And we are in Instagram, EXD Architecture. Our webpage is exdarchitecture.com. Okay. And you can also find us in LinkedIn, in Facebook, and in Twitter.
Everything. EXD Architecture. Okay.
Yeah, your pronunciation is better than mine.
No. Well, I mean, you have a very thick Venezuelan accent, but I want to make sure that I get it correct for everyone.
Thank you so much, Bett.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Victoria. You've been a pleasure. And please go find her at exdarchitecture.com and check out her cool designs and see if she can help you.
Right. And I would love if they come referred by this podcast, that they mention the podcast so we know.
Yes, please. Architecture.
I can contact you and
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Architect My Life podcast. We'd love to hear from you on social media using the hashtag Architect My Life podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @Aya_Architect My Life. That's Aya, AYA_Architect My Life. And for women firm owners, I invite you to join the Architect My Life private Facebook group. If you haven't already, we'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the show, as well as rate or review us wherever you access podcasts. And if you think you have something to add to the conversation through your success running a business, we invite you to apply to be a guest in one of our upcoming episodes. Visit architectmylife.com/podcast to learn more. Maybe you're not in a position to share your success story yet. That's okay. Take your business to the next level with our coaching and online courses. Get everything you need at architectmylife.com. Remember, there is a way to manage it all so you can achieve more. I'm Maya Schlachter. Thanks again for listening.